Chuck in St. Charles is on the score.
Hey, how are you?
Good, man.
Great.
I'm sure you guys are going to call me racist.
No.
Well, that's probably.
Why would I do that?
Why
would I do that, Chuck?
Well, because I'm white, right? I got to be racist.
No, my aunt, I just mentioned my Aunt Louise, who is very white and very Irish.
Who said that, Chuck?
Well, I'm just because I've listened to your show for many years. And
Thank you.
Good.
You're going to attack. I know, Bernstein, how you go.
Chuck,
say what you, instead of predicting responses, just say what you're going to say.
Because people are going to miss it in the long run.
Okay, so you just made the comment that we're not talking about all bad cops and all bad this.
But no, I'm not talking about all good cops. I know a lot of good cops. What'd you say?
How come if a white person says something, we're referring to every black male?
Okay, but
I don't
saying what? Just stop talking in generalities. How about this? You say something, and we'll talk.
Okay. So, in my opinion, I'm not speaking for everybody.
You don't have to.
It's only my opinion.
That's all we give is our own opinions.
Why I have a problem with them sitting during the national anthem is not because I'm a patriotic or anything. Because I'm tired of them crying about everything.
Who? You're tired of who crying
black
about?
People. They act like. There's not one white person that goes to the black neighborhood and messes up their houses. They do it themselves. There's not one white person that does anything to them. They make their own problems. And all they do is cry about it, and that's their way of pretending that it's something else by sitting for the national anthem.
All right, Chuck. So, now I don't want to cut you off here. Did you get out everything that you needed to say just now?
No. I mean, I grew up on the South Side. Okay. I went through two neighborhoods that went from white to black. And the whole neighborhood, what was South Shore Drive, if you know everything? That was a beautiful neighborhood at one time. What is it now? Garbage. Why? Did we go there and do it? No.
Okay, Chuck. Chuck,
let me blaming the white people for everything that goes wrong.
Chuck,
we don't do it. I'm sitting in my house doing nothing. It ain't my fault what happens with them.
There it is, Chuck. This is what I was talking about with another. It doesn't affect me, so I really.
That's right.
Hold on,
you
Chuck. Yeah, I do actually, Chuck.
Come on.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I do. Trust me. I get emotional about a lot of things.
Black people don't care what happens. Nobody cares. It's not even a black and white thing.
You just made it that though, Chuck. Chuck, I'll let you speak. Let me talk for a couple of seconds here, Chuck. You said everything that you just said, right? By the way, I don't know if you've ever been to Hyde Park, bustling neighborhood full of old black money.
I'm from the South Side, Southeast Side.
Oh, so that's the neighborhood that blacks kept up. Can we agree on that one?
No, well, my wife's from Calumet City.
No. I'm talking about Hyde Park.
Hyde Park?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good. You know what? That's a racially divided neighborhood.
Oh, there it is. So Chuck, let's skip the BS in here. So you think that African Americans blame everything on white people, and that's why you are not for the kneeling or the fist raising for the national anthem, right?
I don't even care if it's black or white. They're just crying about things.
Chuck, you just
own it. You called it out.
Let me say this,
Don't
Chuck.
back off.
I'm not backing off enough.
No, Chuck's very proud of it. No, Chuck, Chuck, can I talk to you about something really quickly here?
Sure.
All right. I don't, and anybody that's known me, especially in this business, I don't blame anyone for my failures, and I don't give out a lot of my rewards. I feel that I have earned everything that I've achieved in my life. Like, I grew up wanting to do this job, and I didn't let anything stand in my way, right? And I was taught that by my very, very, very black parents, who are actually foreign blacks, so you might hate them twice as much. So, Chuck, I make a pretty good living, right? So you're talking about African Americans complaining about things and blaming things on other people. I don't blame anything on anybody. Chuck, I play basketball in Park Ridge Saturday mornings at 6:30 in the morning. I've been stopped 3 times and not given a ticket, not given a citation. Twice, the same person was making sure that I got where I was going. Chuck, I don't drive a jalopy. I drive a Range Rover. I take care of my family. I make my money. I talk to y'all on a daily basis. I go about my business and do what I do. So for you to say anything about people who want to blame stuff on other people, there's been a lot of things that have put in my way that I've never let stop me. So what makes you think that I am any different than the African Americans that you are referring to, or the blacks that you are referring to? Because what you don't, I know you don't. I know you don't. You did generalize. What you did, Chuck, is we let you talk long enough for all the ignorance to seep out of your mouth.
See, that's what I knew was coming. That's why I prefaced
You're Chuck. If you look up, Chuck, I didn't call you a racist. I said you're ignorant. Chuck, you know what the definition of ignorance is? Chuck, do you know what the definition of being ignorant is?
Yes, exactly what you're doing.
No.
Tell me what's any different.
Hey, Chuck, see, this is the problem, Chuck. You're used to having this conversation with your boys at the bar or at a poker game, but when somebody from a different perspective talks to you about it, you kind of clam up a little bit on me.
You think that I think every black man out there is
Chuck, you just said that every neighborhood that blacks go into, they ruin. You just said it 2.5 minutes ago.
Okay. All right. So does that mean that how else are you going to say it? Every black neighborhood is messed up.
There it is.
There it is.
Chuck, which one is it, brother?
There it is.
Which one is it? See, but the problem is, Chuck, you can live in Chuck, you can live in St. Charles and think this way and it not affect you at all. The problem is, Chuck, people like you give out bank loans. People like you have bulletproof vests on and guns by their side. People like you teach African-American kids. People like you do a lot of things in a lot of areas that affect African-American families. So that's the problem, Chuck. Chuck in St. Charles could be anybody's custodian or anybody's, streets and sands guy. And shout out to the streets and sands people out there. I'm not trying to belittle your job at all. But what I'm saying is you can do whatever you want to do, Chuck, and think that way. The problem is people like you have power. That's the problem, my man. And your ignorance, I swear to God, it's going to die out. You're going to be dead soon here. And hopefully you didn't make any kids that think like you. The problem is, though, Chuck, people like you are far too powerful in this country, and that's why a man is kneeling. That's why a man is putting a fist in the air, and that's why his white teammates are putting their hands on his shoulders, because he's probably explained to them similar stories that I have never, ever said on these airways before. That's why. So your ignorance, you put it out there for everyone to see, and I hope everyone recognized Chuck's voice in St. Charles.
I hope so too.
I hope they do, Chuck, because your ignorant ass is a thing of the past here in a couple of generations. I'm telling you right now, my children will meet up with your family members, and they will be fine. And guess what? My black child will go to a terrific college because you listen every day to hate me. I appreciate your interaction, Chuck.
For free.
No, not for free, player. Let me tell you something right now. These commercials that I read, these 60s, they ain't for free. They ain't for free. Understand that.
Oh, no?
Yo, punk ass. See, these are the kinds of people. These are the kinds of people that we need to stop acting like don't exist. Right here. And I'm nobody's social justice warrior. I just call out BS when I hear it. And you are the kind of person that is not extinct yet. You are the kind of person that has power over people. You are the kind of person. What?
Touch millions of people and trying to teach the kids that we've been wronged all these years, tearing down statues and all of that stuff. And they're not reaching more people than my sorry ass.
Chuck, I appreciate you. Chuck, I hope everyone that has been listening to you for the last 8 minutes and 33 seconds has put a voice and hopefully a face in St. Charles to what we are talking about. I hope they do, Chuck. For all the people out there that thinks that there's some boogeyman running around in African Americans' minds, it is Chuck from St. Charles. It is Chuck from St. Charles. Brother. You ain't my brother, player. Okay. You've never been my brother.
Chuck, there's one more question that remains unanswered. Do you know what the definition of the word ignorance is?
Yeah, Bernstein.
Now, do you know what the definition of the word is?
This is it, though. This is exactly what we're talking about.
I'm just asking if you. I'm asking if you.
Okay, ignorance is not knowing what you're talking about. Okay,
it is.
No, it is actually
lacking knowledge or awareness.
Exactly, but I don't know where you grew up, Bernstein, but
here it is.
I don't lack knowledge because
sure you do, Chuck. You just spewed it all over.
You just spent 10 minutes.
You spewed it over a 50,000 watt station in the third market in the country.
And the fact is, you're not even aware enough to know it.
And I'm going to kneel at the Bulls game on.
And Chuck, guess what? Not one black man in the crowd will boo you or look at you with disdain. They will actually look at you and say, man, he might be cool with me. That's the problem, Chuck. Your ignorance precedes you, brother. You're nothing new. You're nothing new. You're the same. You're the same version of everything that this country has seen for generations, Chuck. Only you're not tough enough to say the N-word to brothers' faces. That's the only thing that's probably changed. That's the only thing that's probably changed. What?
Come on, dude.
What?
You guys ain't so whatever.
What?
You know what? You're trying to bring me to another level.
You took it there, Chuck. Your ignorance has been put on display for the last 10 minutes now for everyone to hear. And that's why I'm emotional about it.
I'm ignorant.
That's why I'm emotional about it, because people like you exist, and you sound like you have no education and no power. So I'm not worried about you, Chuck. But the people who do have power, that think like you, those are the dangerous people out there. And as long as I have this microphone, and as long as I am in this city or wherever the hell this career takes me, I will make sure that I speak out against people like you. Because the people that are quiet in these jobs are as complicit in nature as you are, Chuck. And just because you may not have jumped anybody or may not have called anybody the N-word doesn't make you any better. The things that you think and the things that you said on this radio station the last 10 minutes have been disgusting, brother. Please believe it. And don't get off this phone feeling better about yourself. You should feel terrible. And the best part about it is there are white men and white women out there that don't need to be applauded for being humans, that are listening to this right now, that are very proud that they are not you, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Have a good afternoon, sir.
I'm going to have a great one. I'm doing a paid read in 5 minutes.